Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. I've got the Bitcoin chart up here on the daily. You guys can see over the last few days we've been slowly creeping to the upside. We are no longer in the 50s, guys. It looks like we are up past $60,000, at least as of the time of this recording. And hopefully we can stay up above that psychological level. One where we can see we have actually been seeing some support in and around here. So former support is, well, a good indicator there. In and around here, and of course in and around there, that we could in fact break up above that and form new support on top of that. Now, we've also seen that as old resistance in the past. So up in here, trying to come up out of that, we did come back down, and now we're just kind of squeaking in there, $60,000 per coin. Of course, $70,000 would be nice, right? We've really just been in this zone trading sideways for quite a while now, and since the halving, we are about 120 days out. So generally what we've seen in the past post-halving, it doesn't usually take this long to get up and above, making new all-time highs. However, this bull run is looking very, very different than former bull runs, but, you know, in some ways, still the same. When was the Bitcoin halving in 2020? Well, that was May 11th, 2020. And so if we just bring that up here on the charts, and we zoom in here to May 11th, right in around here, that would have been this day in and around here, May 11th. And it only took roughly 85 days to get up above those levels, bringing Bitcoin up to $12,000 at that point in time. We did come back down, but guys, Bitcoin did finally take off in and around here. So it took about 150, 160 days before Bitcoin did take off. So, I mean, if you consider that, we are 120 days in. If we were to say, whoops, let's get rid of that. If we were to, well, assume that it's going to take roughly the same amount of time, that would be bringing us into late September, early October 2024 for the beginning of that euphoria phase. And then boom, excitement from there on out. Of course, we're not feeling that excitement right now. Sentiment is in neutral territory, so still kind of halfway there. We are seeing a bit of an uptick, though, on the charts. Over the last 24 hours, we're seeing a bit of green in the space. So that is positive news, although not a lot of volume is flowing into the space. As a matter of fact, we aren't seeing too much volume at all. It has been decreasing 26.35% in the last 24 hours. Market cap is up, though. That's good, $2.11 trillion. And Bitcoin dominance, guys, creeping up 56.2%. So altcoins, definitely not seeing the money flowing in there. Although altcoins will have their time, we do traditionally see Bitcoin move to new highs before we see the altcoins really kind of take off. And this is just the altcoin chart, the total 3 chart, still making lower lows on the micro time frame. So we have a lot of work to do for altcoins, getting up above the $663.2 billion mark in the altcoin market, I think will be a start. And I think once altcoins really start to take off, this will be an easy milestone to achieve. For more information, guys, on what I'm trading this bull run, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel, where I open up my entire portfolio and where I'm going to be discussing crypto targets in more detail in the coming months, possibly the coming weeks. I think I'm also going to be doing a live Q&A event this Friday, hopefully, if I've got my timing right. So again, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if that is something you guys are interested in. A new metric here, something that Crypto Eddie noticed here, XRP market price, okay? So she's looking at these violin plots. XRP violin plots suggest a period of relative stability with key support levels holding firm. Now, I guess I should bring up that chart if you guys want to take a look at that with regards to the violin plot. So the components, the violin shape each quarter is represented by a violin-shaped plot. You guys can see that here on the chart. The width of the shape at different price levels indicates the density of data points at that price. Wider sections indicate more frequent occurrences in that price level, while narrower sections indicate less frequent prices. So I don't know what kind of information we can glean from this, but this is just describing XRP price, I guess just showing us in a visualization what XRP price was in terms of quarter 3, 2023, quarter 4, 23, quarter 1, 24, and quarter 2, 24, and where we saw a lot of XRP price seem to concentrate. So the median in quarter 3 of 2023 was at 52 cents. Then in quarter 4, 2023, we saw it at 61.3, so on and so forth. And now down here, we're actually seeing it lower, guys, at 52, back to 52 cents roughly. So the dots within each violin represents individual data points, specific market prices of XRP during the respective quarters. So it's like a scatter plot here. The black box and whiskers, these represent the interquartile range, or the IQR, in the range of the data. The box captures the middle 50% of the data, while the lines, the whiskers, extend to capture the spread of the rest of the data, excluding outliers. The red dot, this marks the mean, the average market price of XRP in the quarter, so you guys can see that there. That is what the average was over these particular quarters. And the horizontal line within the box, this line represents the median market price, which is the middle value when the prices are ordered from lowest to highest. And then it gives some ranges here. So I don't know what this means. I think, right now, considering we still are in a spec market, I don't know if this means too much, but moving forward, I have a feeling this will mean a lot more. Once we do get out of a spec market and see some more real world utility for XRP, I think we will see XRP price start to move a lot differently than a lot of these other cryptocurrencies in the space. Currently, we're seeing an XRP trading in and around 57.4. So again, still firmly in the 50s, hasn't moved too much, still trading above that trend line though, so that is positive news there. But guys, really what it's going to be about, big market moves, moving lots of XRP once the real world utility does commence. That is, what will eventually get XRP price up above the others. And, it'll be a breakaway. It could be a breakaway cryptocurrency. I'm not saying it will for sure. I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball, but I could see it, if we do eventually get these regulations put in place, and, even if we do see stablecoin adoption first, eventually a lot of these other cryptocurrencies are going to sneak their way into the market. And, XRP is lined up. It's already got the clarity. So what's the next step? Well, first, I think we got to see meaningful stablecoin utility in the market, and then we're going to see some of these other utility coins really kind of get involved and really kind of start to move more value on chain. The big whales, they are realizing this too. This is why they're still hodling lots and lots of XRP. 104 million XRP have mysteriously been transferred by whales. This coming from XRP Crypto Wolf here. So as reported by Blockchain Tracker, Whale Alert, a staggering 104 million XRP valued at over $58 million was mysteriously transferred in a single transaction. According to the data, the 104 million XRP was moved from an unknown wallet to a new unidentified wallet address. So here's the Whale Alert, just reporting on that. 104.4 million XRP, that is roughly $58.2 million. This movement of XRP has drawn attention as it suggests whales, large holders of cryptocurrency, and that they might be making significant moves in the market. The exact reason for this transfer does remain unknown. However, it might suggest a shift to a more secure wallet or preparation for a potential sale. Considering we don't know where the wallets belong, it's probably not for ODL purposes. Could be a Ripple wallet, could be an individual independent holder of XRP. We really don't know at this moment, but we are seeing we do see time and time again these large quantities of XRP on the move. And, it's funny because a lot of these times the Whale Alert does notice these significant moves. I haven't seen, or at least I have not noticed, Whale Alert report other large significant moves like of XLM, for example, or other cryptocurrencies, even the utility coins. I don't see these same kinds of movements. I mean, sure, there are, I'm sure, whales that hold XLM or Algorand or whatever. But at the end of the day, it always seems like it's XRP that is moving in large quantities. So that is definitely something to keep in the back of your mind there. Anyway, I wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for bringing that up. SBI did just release another ad, guys, and I have a feeling this isn't, I don't know if this is actually part of the ad or if somebody superimposed these logos in later. This one courtesy of Colin Brown. Watch this.
It's the marks. Ready?
FX は SBI FX トレード。
Apparently, this is an IFSC World Champion from 2014. What is the IFSC? IFSC, what is it? IFSC stands for Indian Financial System Code. It's a 11-digit code written in an alphanumeric format. So I guess they're just having fun with this. Doesn't mean anything. I thought it was a sport or something that I did not know about. And so I don't know, is this real? Did somebody actually, did they actually put these logos in their ad, or did somebody I feel like somebody probably superimposed these in later. I don't know. Put it down in the comment section if somebody has the original ad without the Ripple logo and the Bitcoin logo. Really, though, at the end of the day, I think it does just show, even if the logos were superimposed later, that SBI Group committed to providing a better standard, leveraging cryptocurrency to do just that. Also, we know that they are one of Ripple's largest VC funders from the beginning days early on. So wanted to thank Colin Brown just for sharing that with us. Subjective Views guys also bringing this to our attention. Susan Anthony originally sent this to me. Confirmation that DBS Bank, the largest bank in Singapore, is using Ripple, guys. This is Pegah Sultani. She made an appearance at the Blockchain Futurist Conference that was occurring in Toronto on between August 13th and August 14th. I did not know this event was going on, but she was there. She actually did confirm the usage from DBS Bank and a few others. Listen to this.
For me, payments is really broad, so it's really anything that needs fast settlement, and the next wave of growth I really see in real-world asset tokenization. We have customers like HSBC, DBS, the biggest bank in Singapore, DZ Bank in Europe, and they're all entering the space to tokenize a variety of assets like money market funds, sometimes real estate, gold, other, and they all need fast payments and settlement, and that's where I think the next trillions of dollars of growth will come to the industry.
So did you hear that last part? Trillions of dollars are going to come to the industry through tokenization, and she was talking about DBS Bank and a couple of others there. Let's see.
That's the biggest bank in Singapore, DZ Bank in Europe, and they're all entering the space.
DZ Bank in Europe.
HSBC, DBS.
Yeah, and HSBC, so another one there. These are huge partners, guys, mega partners, leveraging RippleNet, and of course, Pegah Sultani is the head of payment products over there at Ripple. So giving us some insight on how big this is going to be, guys, getting up to trillions of dollars eventually. So really, at this point, it is just about building. It is about building your crypto portfolio too. If you're, banking on XRP to do very, very well. Selling some today, I don't think is a bad idea, but, keeping a portion of your XRP for the long term, and that's going to depend. I mean, the portion, I know I've been asked a few times now, how much XRP, what percentage of your portfolio, Working Money Channel, are you going to keep? Are you going to sell? I'm going to be discussing all that over there at patreon.com. To be honest, I'm still working those numbers out. I haven't really been accumulating XRP over the last couple of years now because I've cost averaged down below 20 cents. So I'm really happy at where I'm at price-wise. Now it's just going to be about how much I decide to keep and how much I decide to sell. And the mathematics, I guess just depending on where the price could go in the future, it might be worth it to sell more now, keep less for later, just kind of depending. But again, I'm working out those numbers and I'm going to be sharing all that over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel with my Patreon subscribers. Xena XRP bringing this up. Do you see where I'm going? Yes, Eddie. We see where you are going with this. This was a response to an interview Crypto Eddie did. I'm going to play you guys this clip and then I'm going to go over what Xena says here.
If the regulatory clarity becomes very clear and the rails are truly defined globally, now just hear me out here. One of the things that could happen, and wow, it would be amazing. So as the real USD is being backed with short-term bonds and whatever paper that they choose to use, and that may change depending on the markets, right? So could end up being other things like, who knows, what they'll back it up with. But if they chose to back it up with, let's say, not a lot, but a portion of those reserves backed with XRP. Now, I know I asked David specifically on Twitter if that was ever in the planning stages, or could that ever happen, or was that going to happen? I don't remember exactly the way I worded it. And he said, no, it wasn't. And I said, oh, darn, that would have been fantastic if that was part of the plan. But that doesn't mean that couldn't be part of the plan in the future based on regulatory clarity with digital assets. And they have so much money that they could collateralize that. So they could park a portion of that XRP to back up as part of the reserves, but also collateralize it with other forms of assets. Do you see where I'm going? That would be an amazing use case for the digital asset.
And I guess at the end of the day, we don't really know what Ripple's entire plan is, the entirety of what they're doing. We can only best guess based on the information they're giving us. And Zena here is echoing the same. Yes, Eddie, we see where you're going. And this is why I said it is a bullish video. This reason could only bring XRP into the stratosphere. But apparently, she asked David if it was part of the plan, and he said no. Let me be clear. David doesn't have to tell crypto influencers what is part of the plan or not. I know David Schwartz has gotten in trouble for that in the past. Also notice this. He was more talkative in 2017 than he is now. Actually, he announced partnerships that he had to apologize for publicly later on. A few months later, Bearable Guy did start making riddles. If you guys remember, Bearable Guy did start making riddles in 2018. Things that make you go, I believe the 589 riddle came out in February 2018, if I'm not mistaken. For Cassie Craddock, okay, she's another Ripple employee over there in, I believe, Ireland. And what she said at Money 2020, this is correct. For a long time, it was complicated to convince banks because there was no real incentive back then. That doesn't mean it's still not the case. Rather, the contrary. But don't expect them to tell you everything. This is why NDAs exist. Ripple is being watched by an entire community, us, the XRP community, right? Dissecting every word that could give them any indication of what the XRP price would be. Do you think Ripple is very careful with what they say? I definitely know for a fact that those guys plan what they say to a T before going out and making announcements. Not only Ripple, how many times have you heard partners saying they can't talk about Ripple or XRP? Even Ross Leckow from the IMF didn't want to handle a question that was asked to him. And Brad Garlinghouse was sitting right on the panel there beside him. I think this was back in 2018 as well. And Brad just kind of jokingly said, well, I can field that question for you, Ross, if you don't want to. That's what I told you not a long time ago. There's a lot of info you still don't and won't have access to until they decide to release it. And at that moment, it will be too late. A lot of things are kept hush-hush. And that's what Eric doesn't understand, or maybe he's faking it. I don't understand the context to that because I guess I did not see the earlier video. But see, in this video, she confirmed what you said, at least the possibility of it happening. Now the question is it going to happen? And if yes, sooner rather than later? I guess that is the big question. Well, I mean, if we look at just the signs, Pegah Soltani talking about trillions of dollars, and these are going through major banks like DBS Bank. This is just one example, guys, but I think we are moving into a world where we are going to see much more XRP activity, much more XRP utilization coming down the pike. And again, I think personally, it's going to be a process step by step. I think first, we need the regulatory clarity. Then we need to see stablecoins really make their move. I don't think many of these financial institutions are feeling confident enough to just jump in with like an XRP type cryptocurrency right away. I think the stablecoins, that is where it's going to be first. And then after that, I think slowly we're going to move into a real world utility type of scenario with XRP and maybe a handful of other cryptocurrencies. So great analysis here from Zena. I wanted to thank Crypto Eddie and Zena just for bringing that to our attention. Another observation here from the Wrath of Kahneman, guys. Ripple was reported as part of Zoth's $4 million funding round on August the 6th. So this is coming from a company called Zoth. They just secured $4 million to build DeFi yield infrastructure with real world assets. And again, this was from August the 6th. Zoth has already deployed $13 million in private credit and has a pipeline of $200 million. So Zoth, a decentralized financial infrastructure company specializing in the tokenization of real-world assets, has successfully secured another $4 million. This is for their tokenized liquid note, or the ZTLN. The ZTLN is a $100 million project backed by secure low-risk assets like U.S. Treasury bills and top-rated corporate bonds. So for real-world utility, guys, designed to bridge the gap between traditional finance, TradeFi or TradFi, and decentralized finance, DeFi. The product provides institutional and qualified investors with transparent, audited, and liquid fixed income options on the blockchain. The funding round attached a strong lineup of investors. So it gives a list of the investors there, including, guys, Coinbase, Hedera, along with Ripple's XRPL Foundation. So it is important to note that these guys are funding or helping to fund this company Zoth here. Wrath of Kahneman making a note, though. So it was reported that Ripple was part of the $4 million funding round for Zoth for their tokenized liquid notes backed by T-bills and bonds. Note that a few weeks ago, I did make a video about T-bills being tokenized on the XRP ledger, which I will link up here in the top right-hand corner. Is this a grant from the June XRPL Accelerator cohort? So a lot of potential here. He says, the XRPL press reads, Zoth introduces an institutional-grade fixed income marketplace, facilitating unprecedented access to a diverse range of high-yield, secure fixed income opportunities using stablecoins. Again, guys, notice the stablecoin utilization coming first. They bridge traditional finance and DeFi, enabling access to short-term fixed income products from emerging markets through DeFi rails. So tokenize Brazilian bonds and move them across the ledger into DeFi for suitable trade cases. So a couple of XRPL angles here. He says, first, the tokenization of real-world assets on the XRP ledger. Their acceleration participation suggests an intent to tokenize there. Second, perhaps their central use of stablecoins suggests RLUSD could be used upon their release. Maybe Ripple is incentivizing them to do that. Interestingly, they announced tokenized liquid notes backed by U.S. Treasuries and bonds recently. Given Ripple's work with Open Eden on T-bills and the XRP ledger, does their description resonate with Ripple's previous interest providing liquidity for corporate treasurers? All things that make me go, We also have number 6 here. Ripple has funded an XRPL accelerator cohort member named Zoth that is tokenizing real-world assets on the XRP ledger. They do this with emerging market treasuries and the use of stablecoins. They could bridge traditional finance and DeFi for institutions on the XRPL. And then he says, an aside here, Zoth also works with trade finance, which I still believe should happen on the XRP ledger. I've seen it with some exporters already. I think early all-in-one solutions were too much, but tokenizing invoices puts a financial aspect online faster. So just giving us another example from back last July 2023. But guys, Zoth here now being funded by Ripple and a handful of other companies. I think Ripple's realizing, even if everything isn't running on the XRP ledger, and even if, we do have we're going to have a fragmented system just because there's so many people from different regions around the world, even different countries using different technology. It's all going to be interoperable. And so Ripple has a vested interest in making all these things work and make them work together with the XRP ledger. So another interesting piece of news here. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. Another big alert here too, guys, from Michael Branch. 94 US banks are at serious risks of a bank run, including some that you guys might know: BNY Mellon, State Street, JP Morgan Chase, and Citi. So this is breaking news, guys. 94 US banks are at significant risk of experiencing bank runs, which means people are going to be losing confidence in banks, going to the bank saying, I want to take out my money and I want to take it out now. An analysis from Florida Atlantic University finds the billion-dollar banks in question include 7 U.S. financial giants, and they've all reported a 50% or higher ratio of uninsured deposits to total deposits. They give some of the ratios down here, guys. I will link this in the description of the video for you. Here's a quote. The first bank failure of the year, Republic First Bank in Pennsylvania, was number 87 on the previous quarter's list with a 51.5% ratio. All of the banks on the list are at serious risk of a run by uninsured depositors should they exhibit any weakness from commercial real estate exposures or unrealized losses on securities. So guys, that is not looking good. Again, maybe another reason to usher in a new financial system sooner rather than later. And so how close are we to XRP being, well, not only the standard in the United States, but eventually that global standard? I mean, if this is happening in the US, chances are other banks around the world are also experiencing the same thing. I happen to see this clip from Rob Cunningham. Another great interview with Jim Willie from David Rodriguez's show. Listen to this.
Wasn't planning on talking about XRP, but this is really relevant. Ripple Tech, which is the developing corporation for XRP, they've won every single frivolous lawsuit that the SEC has put through. And it's really quite funny because 2 cases ago, they determined as a ruling by the court that XRP is not a security. So it means it's not a stock and not a bond.
Right.
And the most recent case, the conclusion was it's not a currency either. It's not a stock, it's not a bond, it's not a currency, it's something else. Well, it's a value transfer vehicle. And that means it's probably going to be used at the highest level, country to country, in trade settlement. That's what I expect. And it's working its way up the...
So we're actually embarking on some exciting times. The old system's dying. We're going into the new system. You're very optimistic about this. And what we're watching with Kamala and Tim Walz and the whole financial system is the dead cat bounce or the dead cat roll. It's done.
Well, you could call it I wouldn't call it a dead cat bounce. I would call it going through the storm, and Trump calls it the storm.
Okay.
When you're in a storm, like you're at a baseball game, and oh my gosh, it's getting rained out. We got to get home. Oh my, I don't have a ride. I got to run home. You run through the storm. You get really wet. You get home, and you dry off.
So Jim Willie basically saying here it could be used at the highest level for trade settlement, talking about XRP here because they've not classified it as a security, a commodity, a currency. It will be used to transfer value once we do see a liquidity crisis. And not just for that, guys, for other applications too, even in a system that is sound. Tokenizing bonds, T-bills, whatever it ends up being, Ripple has a vision and that vision keeps growing. So hodl your XRP. I have a feeling you probably won't regret it. And for more information on how much I'm going to be selling, how much I'm going to be holding, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel for all the details coming up in the next little while. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.